reaction to this? Is this a bear trap?
Maybe.
No, it's a
It's too small
console.
for a bear.
It's a console claw strand.
Those are the zappers. Here's the original one.
Yeah, I love the
yeah.
original ones.
And then they re-released this one because it looks a little bit less, I don't want to say realistic, but it's more obvious that it's a toy and not a real gun.
There's like glass in here.
Yeah.
Feels like it's supposed to have a scoop or something.
Because it makes the screen flashes, and then there's stuff in there that detects where the flash occurs on the screen. It's a gun con. It's a Namco gun con. That's good. Good stuff. It's a gun con 2. I'd love to have an original gun con for PlayStation 1. Play Time Crisis and the Point Blank series.
Nah, someone's about to play a Sonic game on here. I know you people.
Yeah, we can do it. I still need that Dreamcast fishing controller so I can play games on the fishing controller.
Ultra Racer 64. I take this as some Mario Kart.
Yeah, well, any racer, because this rotates, so it's like a steering wheel. So, yeah, you can see. Give it a shot.
Alright, last chance.
One life left. YOLO. There you go. There's that jump in action.
Oh gosh. Why is it blue and purple?
Oh, the jump chomp. Wow. Get him. Yep. There you go. There's the fruit. Okay.
I really go for the fruits.
Nice. They're only for score. Ooh, the green one.
What's the green one do?
I don't even remember what the green one does, to be honest. See ya.
Alright.
Wouldn't
Goodbye,
wanna
Pac-Man.
be ya.
Goodbye, Pac-Man.
Pac Maniacs. This one's yours right here.
Okay. Five copies of Sonic the Hedgehog 2?
Yeah.
What kind of game collector are these people?
They used to pack the Sonic games into the systems. But here we go. October's over, but there you go. There's a Halloween game for you right there. Haunting starring Poltergeist. Old video game magazines.
Battletoads.
Yeah, Battletoads. Oh, there you got Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. Castlevania 3.
Disney Adventures.
Yeah.
That's funny. He's 50.
There's Raiden. There. That guy is actually over there as a guest. The guy who's Raiden.
Simpsons 1 out. I think it's just 3 for 5, 7 for 10. We draw 5.
Eternal Champions is good. There we go. There's the Sonic 2. The debut of Tails. Then Chaka the Forever Man is just kind of chilling, haunting on the side.
Sega Saturn.
Yeah, Sega Saturn. I love the Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn and the PlayStation 1 are always favorites of mine. So. Fighters Mega Mix.
EA Sports again.
Yeah. Oh, they have a Last Bronx. Sega never really talks about that anymore. Sega used to have really good sports games too. There's RoboPit. I like RoboPit. I have that one already. Alright, look at these. So Limited Run Games is actually doing more Arrow the Acrobat right now. Donkey Kong Country. You want to make some big boy purchases? Yeah, color dinosaur. So this is where you go to make the big boy purchases. The big money. Got a nice Einhander for PlayStation right there. Tecmo Bowl. I'm playing Tecmo Super Bowl right now on my channel.
Nice.
Sorry.
15, please.
Lots of other Super Nintendo games.
They ain't gonna live forever.
Yeah. There's lots of Super Nintendo games, that's for sure. A lot of good ones.
That's gotta be redone for a game.
That's super raw. Oh man. Vader and Sting. I have this one. I haven't played it in a long time. There we go. Have we played that?
I think you said you would play it with me at one point.
Okay. Yeah, we need to play that at some point. It's a good game. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Some imports. Yeah. There you go. Look at the Super Famicom boxes are always so good. That Yoshi Island.
How much? I'm sorry?
So to sum up what I was able to pick up from the Detroit Retro Gaming Show, got 2 magazines this time around. You know, I'm the big magazine collector. This time we found some official Dreamcast magazine issues. So first up we have, there's issue number 9. It is the online issue where it goes into great detail about what the Dreamcast is doing online. So it introduces NFL 2K1, a lot of the sports games, Unreal Tournament, does things like advertises the Half-Life game that never released for the Dreamcast officially. You can mod it and actually play it these days, but it never officially released at that time. And then also February 2001, this is the Phantasy Star Online issue. So I think of big note is we now know all of Sega's secrets. The Dreamcast 2 that existed and had Sega's plans for the future. That they released the Dreamcast well into the 21st century here. But all joking aside, these are pretty cool issues. This gets me about halfway through the full set of official Dreamcast magazine issues. So I think if I pick up one more, I officially have half of the issues. So we're making progress, and then hopefully we can find some more of the unofficial Dreamcast magazine as well. Only 2 more issues to collect in that, and we'll be set with that collection because only 4 of them exist. Pretty easy if you can actually find them. That's easier said than done. But I did notice the issues do have complete recaps of everything that the official Dreamcast magazine has reviewed. So if I'm able to get the final issue, the one with Spider-Man on the cover, hopefully they have that feature still, because that would be interesting if they had just the full blast, every review that they have done in the magazine, so I can go through them and kind of sort it out, get some interesting data, because after September I'm still kind of on the the kick of looking at what is considered the worst Dreamcast games of all time per reviewers. So as you see, we've already gone through ESPN NBA Tonight by Konami on the Sega Dreamcast, and that was billed as IGN's lowest rated Dreamcast game ever. And I don't think my opinion quite matched with that, but I do have to agree that it is not an excellent game by any means. So getting to actual video games, first up, this caught my attention because I can't say I've really seen it or noticed it before, but this is a PlayStation 1 game called Builder's Block, and it was released in the US by Jellico, you can see down there. So picking this up because I didn't recognize it, I looked on the back, and I immediately noticed this is Taito's Land Maker, an arcade game, puzzle game. And so that greatly increased my interest in picking this one up, so I ultimately did. The Land Maker does have a very, it's kind of niche, but it does have a very strong player versus player scene on Fightcade that's over the internet, games over the internet. And it's a pretty unique puzzle game, but it has some pretty cool characters that you can choose from, and the PlayStation version adds a couple of new modes, a puzzle mode and a new battle mode where you it's a little bit more like Magical Drop, where you race to the finish. It's not only based on defeating your opponent, but if you clear enough pieces from the playfield before your opponent does, you still get the win. So it's kind of similar to that in the gameplay regard there, but cool pickup, and it's very strange. There's that sweep of late PlayStation 1 games in the US right before the PS2 released, and kind of even into after the PS2 released, that US companies were picking up cheap licenses, cheap games, and porting them to the US, a lot of times under completely different names, sometimes a lot of times with very goofy covers. I think the one we always go to, we have here Cleopatra's Fortune, that was published. This is obviously the very anime styled puzzle game that just got a digital release. You can download the digital release on Nintendo Switch now for Cleopatra Fortune. The Japanese title is Cleopatra Fortune, but that US PS1 game labels it as Cleopatra's Fortune, but it's still the same game. Next up, a Sega Saturn pickup. Got this from the private collector that a year ago I got the Sega CD Dracula and the WWF In Your House from. So a really nice collection there that they're selling. Great games are in great shape, fair prices. So this one might be a little unexpected, but I was did have my eye out for this one. This one being Center Ring Boxing by JVC. And I was really big into sports as a kid. Watched a lot of baseball, football, and basketball, but as I grew older I gravitated more toward things like hockey and boxing, so I'm always on the lookout for good boxing games, and this one didn't cost a whole lot, and I saw a few things on it, so I figured I'd give it a chance. Hopefully it's pretty good. Eventually EA would release Fight Night Round 2, Fight Night Round 3 on later systems, and those were really cool boxing games, but I was looking for something on the PlayStation 1 or Sega Saturn. PlayStation 1 has games like Contender, which they're so-so. I was never totally into those games that they released on the PlayStation 1. And then there was a boxing game, I think they called it Knockout Kings, that EA released on the PlayStation, and it was pretty bad because they just essentially took their fighting engine from the hockey game that they did that year and tried to shoehorn it into a fully fledged boxing game. So PlayStation 1 doesn't exactly have the best record for boxing games in the US, at least from my experiences, so I'm hopeful for that one and can't wait to check that one out. And going back to the Sega Dreamcast, two final pickups. The first one, I've been kind of looking for this one for quite some time, and this is Capcom's Power Stone 2. This is the Japanese version of it with that sweet cover art. This has a really good package design, even the back has a lot of style to it. But Power Stone 2, I do have it playable. I have the Power Stone collection downloaded onto our PlayStation TV / PlayStation Vita, so I do have it playable. But I did own a US copy of Power Stone 2, and took it to an event that I ran, and somebody decided to steal the disc for that. So that's the one that I'm super not pleased. The only thing I've ever had stolen from me at an event. So that one's kind of salty, because that's a $200 game that I have to try to replace. So if that's one I can find cheaper disc only, then eventually at some point I will just pick up the disc. That way I can put it into, I still have the case and instructions, but I did want a Dreamcast copy of Power Stone 2, and because of its cheaper price, had my eye on the Japanese copy, so we finally picked that one up. And lastly, I've already talked about it in September, how we played the IGN's worst rated Dreamcast game of all time. Was ESPN NBA 2 Night by Konami, which received a 1 out of 10. No other Dreamcast game on IGN.com got less than a 2.0. But one of the games that did receive a 2.0, we found it at Detroit Retro Gaming Show. That is NFL Quarterback Club 2000. So I don't know what to expect from this one, but this game was quite the punching bag for IGN for some time until ESPN NBA 2 Night released. All around, it didn't get very favorable reviews, and as you can guess, for a system, the Sega Dreamcast, where NFL 2K exists, and then NFL 2K1 and NFL 2K2, you really have to bring your A game when you make a football game, or kind of any sports game period with visual concepts around. But yeah, Acclaim released this one toward the, I can't remember if it was an exact launch title, but it was very close. But like I said, when NFL 2K exists, you have to do a lot better than what this is alleged to do, but we'll figure it out. I think of great interest to me is that during this time frame, it has the expansion teams. It proudly displays that you can play as the Tennessee Titans and the Cleveland Browns. That might seem weird if you don't follow football, but the Cleveland Browns, they relocated. They are now the Baltimore Ravens, and then this was Cleveland getting its football team back, essentially. So that's kind of an interesting note for this season that this video game is based on. Detroit Retro Gaming Show this time around, still quite a fun show. I believe Youmacon was running the same weekend, so there was a little bit less in spectacle, like the arcade machines and items like that, but going just to shop the vendors, still an excellent time. Found a lot of stuff I was looking for, and able to pick up a handful. Can't afford everything that's on my wish list. And then I had the family with me, and they had a good time. The kids enjoyed playing a few of the arcade games, the indie games and such. So it's still a fun time. Recommend heading out there, and we'll see if they do the spring show next time, but always looking forward to it. It's a show that's about an hour and a half away, so that's great that I don't have to travel 2, 3, 4 hours to go to a show like that. But I think between that and the Cleveland Gaming Classic, kind of got my vendor fix going on for picking up retro games, and always looking forward to those events.